Hearing colors and seeing sounds is usually what someone says right before you realize they've had a very interesting evening. But here's what most people don't know. There are completely sober people who experience exactly that every single day for their entire lives. It has a name, synesthesia, and it has been verified in laboratories. It is not a metaphor, not an exaggeration, and not something they imagined. When a person with synesthesia says the number 7 is red, you can test them on it 10 years later. Still red. Exactly the same shade. That kind of consistency doesn't come from imagination. It comes from a fixed neurological connection. Their brain is genuinely routing one type of information through multiple senses at the same time. The most common version is seeing letters and numbers as colors. But the condition goes much further than that. And some of the other types are genuinely hard to believe until you see the research. There are people for whom words have a taste, not randomly, always the same taste. The word table might taste like cream every single time they read it or hear it. The word Wednesday might taste like orange. Consistent, involuntary, and completely real. There are people who physically feel touch when they watch someone else being touched. If they see someone get tapped on the shoulder, they feel it on their own shoulder. There are people for whom numbers and letters have personalities. The number 3 is warm and friendly. The number 7 is cold and arrogant. These are not things they chose to believe. They just experience it that way automatically, every time. Scientists estimate that roughly 4% of the population has some form of synesthesia. It tends to run in families, which suggests a genetic component. And it appears more frequently among artists and musicians, which is where it starts to get really interesting. Pharrell Williams has said that he composes music in colors, that different sounds produce different visual experiences for him, and he uses that as a guide when writing. That is literally where the title of his album Seeing Sounds came from. Billie Eilish has talked publicly about her own synesthesia. She sees every person she knows as a specific color, shape, and number. The painter Wassily Kandinsky, who is considered one of the founders of abstract art, saw music as color and explicitly said his paintings were attempts to translate what he heard into something visual. He abandoned his law career after having an unusually visual experience listening to Wagner at the Bolshoi Theater. For many of these people, synesthesia is not a disability, it is a tool. People who associate numbers with colors often use those internal color patterns as a memory system. And research has found that musicians with synesthesia have perfect pitch at significantly higher rates than the general population. The brain made an unexpected connection, and that connection turned into an advantage. Which brings up the part that is actually hard to shake once you think about it. You have spent your entire life assuming that your sensory experience of the world is roughly the same as everyone else's. The color red looks the same to you as it does to the person next to you. A song sounds the same, a texture feels the same, but there is no way to actually verify that. What you experience as red, what that color looks like in your specific mind, is something no one else has ever had access to. Synesthesia makes that question visible in a way most people never think about. These people are not broken. Their brains just make connections yours does not. And if their version of reality includes sounds that have color and words that have taste, the real question is not what is wrong with them. It is how certain you actually are about your own version.